My name is Kyle Zagrodzky, and this is the I Go Figure Club Improvement Series, Volume 5. I want to thank each of you for tuning in and watching this series. We do believe the content quality is very high. While the production quality might be low, we think it's probably worth your time. It is our goal never to waste your time in watching any of these series, and we try to keep them short, sweet, and to the point with information that you could use to put members in your club and keep them longer. I've owned Go Figure now for over 13 years. We're in over 50 countries and have thousands of customers. We're one of the largest club management software companies in the world. Between my club operating experience and traveling around the world and getting to meet fantastic and dynamic owners of all shapes, sizes, and creeds, I can tell you that the information that we deliver here is of great value to you. Today I want to talk about two specific things. I want to talk about what is a member to you, and in a little bit different way than what you're probably used to. My intent in doing that is to simply prepare you for what I want to talk to you about next. And for you to fully understand what a member is will hopefully help inspire the next thing that I want to talk about, which includes these balloons. Now, you might be asking, what does an Elmo balloon and an orange balloon have to do with what I'm going to talk about next and how it's going to get you members in your club? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out, but I really do think it's worth your time. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to talk about is what is a member and what does it mean to you? In previous Club Management series, a few of these things I've talked about, but I'm going to try to bring them back together in one great implementable idea. A member is not just the auto-recurring dues that you get from a member from their monthly membership due fees. However, that does mean a lot to a club owner, so it's something that we focus on often, as well we should. It pays the bills. The more members you have on the books, the less headaches you have because you pay the bills and you keep money in the bank. I get that. We also need to look at our gyms constantly from an exit strategy perspective. We're going to sell this gym one day, and when we do, we need to have a lot of members in the club, because at the end of the day, your gym is not really worth too much value when you just take into consideration the building, the contents, and the equipment. What a potential buyer is going to look for is a solid membership base that generates funds. In fact, you get multiples on those membership funds, and the longer that you can maintain a consistent return from those members, the better price you'll get for your facilities. So think of a member in a couple ways. The first way is a financial instrument that keeps your club open and keeps you from having headaches. The second thing is from an exit strategy. So you have to keep that member a long time. Now, we've talked about profit centers in previous club management centers. We've talked about small group instruction classes for a fee. We've talked about small private instruction or personal training classes of groups of 3 or 4, and of also personal training classes. We did an analysis on which ones are better and where you should put your good people. We've also talked a little bit about supplement sales and ways to leverage those for you to get more members. I know a lot of gyms don't really get a lot of money out of their supplement sales, but there are tricks and methods you could do to increase those numbers dramatically, in my opinion, and we've proved it out in several clubs that we've done case studies with. But now we're going to go ahead and talk about how you actually implement these things consistently so that you can have a long-term, steady approach to your membership base, so that when you're ready to get out of this industry, you have a club that is healthy and ready to hand over to somebody else with revenue that could be proved and consistent and stable to get the most price for your club. I don't think, and I waited till the end in terms of what is a member to say this to you, because I don't think you can get the most out of a member without developing a quality professional relationship based upon trust. And I don't think you can get trust until people really understand how much you care about them. If you're the type of person that looks at the books every day and is overly concerned with how much money you have in your account, your heart might be a little bit misplaced, because if you aren't caring more about the people, their results, and their connections in your club, I don't really think that you're going to be very successful in this business in the long run. And I'm not just talking about financially successful. I'm talking about the myriad of success that you could experience in your life, and there's a lot of emotional and mental gratification, self-gratification from being able to help people connect in your facility. I've personally experienced both sides of that. Once where I've looked at the money and was concerned about it, and the other time where I learned to just care about the members and the money came as a result. That is where success lies. The money is better and your overall satisfaction, what you do, is better. You need to focus on your members. You need to make sure that you have quality relationships with them. You need to teach your staff how to connect with them. In a previous Club Improvement Series video, I talked about a book recommendation, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive by Harvey Mackay. In that book, he talked about the Mackay 66, which is a list of things, 66 things that he thinks you should try to get to know about every one of your customers. Because in his experience, he found that of the customers he knew more and more things about personally, those became friends, and friends don't leave your business to go to another gym. He was a master at creating friendships and quality professional relationships. The Mackay 66 is an excellent step to that end. I highly recommend it. You can go online and find the Mackay 66. Now, as I pointed out in the previous video that I made for you guys, the Mackay 66 is an extensive list. If you just got half of that list on any particular member and knew those things about them, you'd be much better off as a club operator. But now I want to talk about how I put $10,000 in one day in one of my clubs. Not only did I do it in one club, I did it in all 9 of my clubs. I did it in just one day without any pre-selling of memberships. And I think this number is a little bit more significant than maybe the larger gyms out there. We deal with a lot of large gyms now, and I appreciate the sophistication of which they operate. But my gyms, when I ran them, 10 years ago, along with my wife, we actually had these were 1,500 to 2,000 square feet gyms. So putting $10,000 in one day in those gyms is a little bit more significant. Now, the way we did it was with either a grand opening or an open house. We just focused on getting new members in the gyms on those days. We didn't do any upselling, and if I knew then what I know now, I would have had a whole collection of things to sell these people, from personal training, small group classes, and supplements, because I had managed to create a buying frenzy. The beautiful thing about creating a frenzy of people in your facility all at the same time is that once one buys, most of them buy, if not all of them. And we had an almost 100% closing average of the people that came in that day. Had we had more things to sell them, we probably would have had more like $20,000 to $25,000 in that single day. So live and learn. That's okay. We're here today talking about these things. So it's promoting an open house and a grand opening. You're going to do all the things you always do, like newspaper advertisements, flyers, Facebook ads, and the like. You'll have call campaigns and those kind of things to tell people about the day. When I do advertise a grand opening or an open house, I always have my address in the ad, but that's always a small line item at the bottom. I'll always give a landmark. People think in terms of landmarks generally, unless you're on a main street of the town. They're going to think about a landmark, especially if you're a new gym, because they're not going to, where is 1452 Main Street? I mean, I know it's on Main Street, but where on Main Street? People are going to think in terms of landmarks. So identify yourself as being across from Starbucks or wherever you are. So yeah, grand opening gym across from Starbucks, or open house, chance of a lifetime, come in for discounts on everything, memberships, blah, 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 across from Starbucks. And so people know about it. The thing that had the most impact of getting people in the club, and I'm not just talking about a little bit of all the crazy guerrilla marketing stuff that we did to alert people to the event, there was one thing that had about an 80% impact on the success of those open houses and grand opening days, and it was bandit signs. For you guys that don't know what bandit signs are, this is what bandit signs are. And I know we all hate seeing bandit signs out on the side of the road, and so there is an etiquette to getting out bandit signs. I will talk about that in a moment, but I'm going to talk to you more specifically about how to construct, get out, when to do it, what the etiquette is, so that you will be confident to pursue this and implement it in your club. And I'm going to give you some of the success on the bandit signs. When a bandit sign, you need to get those out the day of your event. And not only the day of your event, early in the morning before traffic starts. I would start getting out bandit signs at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You're going to take down those bandit signs at midnight, the night of your grand opening or open house event. And you're going to hold this event on a Saturday. If you hold it during the week, a lot of towns and town ordinances may not like these signs, and you're going to get a lot of them. They're going to bug you during the week more than on the weekend, because city officials aren't going to be working during the week. If you get them out in the morning and you keep it on the easements and you pick them up that evening, a few times I did have a police officer come to me and say, hey, that's against the city ordinance. And No problem. I'm sorry. I'll take them up. And I always do. I get every single sign down by midnight that day. So, and I've never been fined for it. And so I think out of the 9 clubs, I've made, $80,000, $90,000, something like that. And so I think if I would have had to pay a fine, I probably would have been okay with it because I was making a lot of money. So you got to weigh that cost yourself. Now, a lot of people think, putting out signs, that's hard work. I don't know about that. If you actually think about what you spend in terms of time and money to get a member in your club, I think that you will come to the conclusion that putting out a sign is probably worth your time. And yes, it is hard work, but it is definitely worth doing. And don't cut corners on it because you're really going to water down your results. Now, getting out the sign is simple like this. You can go get them printed up very cheaply. There's a lot of local printers that will print on signs. Now, I do these signs here. It says, we buy houses, and there's a phone number. We roof houses. We train dogs, these kind of things. I like really simple signs with not a lot of words on them. Just like these, you're going to have a little bit more words, but I would not bother with the phone number because you're going to put them out on your grand opening day. And you're going to get 2 signs printed out. You're going to get one sign that says, whatever, ABC Gym is going to open today, or open house today, chance of a lifetime, discounts on everything. The next sign is going to be just your location. It's going to say ABC Gym across from Starbucks, today only, or something like that. And you're going to have 2 signs, and when you get out these signs, you're going to put them side by side. Okay? Now here comes in the balloons. All right, after you get out your signs, or actually, after you got your signs, first thing in the morning, you're going to put a balloon. You're going to go back after you put them out, and you're going to go tie a balloon to the signs. Now, this is a latex balloon. Do not attach a latex balloon to your sign. The reason why is latex balloons lose their lifting ability. So you get a helium balloon, and you don't want to use latex because at about 3 or 4 hours in the day, things will be droopy and lying on the ground. The cool thing about a balloon is that it sticks out way above the sign, and any time the wind blows, it twists and flaps in the wind. So you want this thing 3 to 4 feet above your sign, flapping in the wind. You might tie it down a little bit lower if it's a really windy day because you don't want it to come off. And you want to get one of these Mylar balloons. These things last forever. I know that because I got kids, and these things stay in the room for a long time. In fact, this is Happy Birthday Elmo, and it's been in my house for my 2-year-old birthday now for his 2-year-old's birthday for about 2 or 3 weeks now. Things still floating up in the air. So I got those 2 balloons to show to you. Anyway, you're going to tie a Mylar balloon to them. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to put out 2 signs side by side. One is going to be announcing the event, chance of a lifetime, ABC Gym, today only. And then the other one's going to be something like discounts on everything across from Starbucks, today only, or something like that. Very simple signs, side by side. Get them out at 5 o'clock in the morning. Right after you get them all out, go tie one of these Mylar balloons to them, and you're going to have a lot of people reminded about that event. You don't do this as your exclusive form of advertising because you did the newspaper, the flyers, all that stuff for 3 or 4 weeks leading up to the event. These signs go out on the day of the event because this is everybody's reminder as they're driving around the area. Oh, yeah, I got to go do that, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put these signs out no more than 2 miles away from your gym. Unless you're a city gym, if you're in a city and you got commuters coming into your gym, this concept doesn't work so great for you. But you're going to put these signs right around your gym within a couple miles, and you're going to put them on every intersection. So in one large intersection, you're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8 on every corner, 8 signs in that one intersection. And so you're going to do that all around your gym in the major intersections. Right in front of your gym, you're going to have 2 sets of these signs, and you're going to repeat them like 5 to 7 times directly in front of your gym and across the street, all with balloons, all facing your gym. And on the front of your gym, you'll have balloons there too. You want everybody in town to see these signs with these balloons and associate them to your gym. It takes a good solid hour or 2 to get all these signs, and it is hard work. Okay, I'm not going to say that it is easy work. Every time I'm done, I'm like, oh man, that was hard. And every time before I do it, I'm not looking forward to it. But the payback is enormous. You don't want to cut corners on these. At the end of the day, you have to go out and pick up all the signs. If you don't, you're going to get a bad name and a bad reputation because people generally don't like the signs. So you're going to go take up all the signs, you're going to cut the balloons, set them free, do whatever you got to do, and you're going to take them and get rid of them. You'll probably never use them again. And that's that. That's how you do it. Now, the construction of the signs. This is important because a lot of people can mess up the construction. People don't know this about me, but when I was 18 years old, I used to work for a home building company, and I actually got out a new home builder, and I put out signs and mowed yards for that company. And the signs were the most effective way that guy had new customers coming in to buy homes. Later on, I started an auctioning company at 18 years old called Kyle Auctioneers, and I gathered up band instruments from a bunch of kids who left high school and sold them for them in an auction. And the way I gathered up hundreds of instruments was I created signs, wanted, used band instruments, my phone number, and I put them around town. I kept all these things in my parents' living room, and I had hundreds of band instruments that ended up selling in this auction. The signs worked great. I could not have thought of a better way to get people to contact me. I've used the signs in real estate, and then when I got into the fitness club portion of my business career, I use them there too. They've always worked. They're highly effective. Please don't discount them. But now we get onto the construction of them. Now, I've made thousands of signs in my life about this and the pitfalls. You could go buy wooden sign stakes, which are the ones you want. Don't buy the wire frames because they don't stay in the ground. They fall over too easy. You want a wooden stake. You're going to use one wooden stake per sign. Make sure you get your signs printed up before you go out. Like, you'll do this like a month in advance to make sure you get them printed into you well in advance. You're going to put them out the morning of. The night before or 2 days before, you're going to sit down with your favorite beverage, and you're going to make these signs. And making these signs takes a long time. Think about how many you're going to want to get out. I would generally put out 50 to 75 signs. That's a lot of signs, but believe me, you're going to get a lot of action in your club. You're going to go buy the longer stakes. They sell 48-inch stakes. You can buy the shorter ones if you want to, but I don't like them as much because they don't stick up as high as the shorter stakes do. So I like the stake to sit up because sometimes the roads come out and then they drop off into a ditch. And so if the ditch is steeper and you put them, the further you put them out away from the road, well, the harder they get below the surface of the road. So you want to try to get the longer stakes. Try to get stakes without knots in them. So you have the little wood knots in them. Try to get cleaner looking stakes. The other thing that you want to go purchase that you could also find in the hardware store are these little metal discs. Okay, I'll show you how to use them in just a second. They're a little thin. Sometimes they're a little aluminum. There you are, little metal little discs that could be made out of aluminum or whatever. And then you want to get roofing nails. These roofing nails right here, they're about an inch, a little bit over an inch long. They're the ones with the big wide head on them. They're called roofing nails, and you want to get those. The reason why you don't want to get ones with a little tiny head on them is because you're trying to pound them in the sign. The sign will just punch right over them. The way you'll construct a sign is that you'll go out to a driveway or onto the grass. Okay, you don't want to do this in the house or whatever because if the nail goes to the sign, you're going to mess up your floor. So go out to the driveway or the back porch or whatever. You're going to put the sign over the wooden stake. You're going to let the wood of the stake stick out about 3 inches above the sign. The reason why is when you're hammering the sign into the ground, sometimes the top could break or split. And if your sign is all the way to the top of the wooden stake, you're going to be hammering into the ground. And you're going to be fumbling and mess up your sign. Also, if you hit your sign with your hammer, they could pop off the stake and it'll just frustrate you. And I don't want that to happen. I want to cut down on frustration as much as possible. So you're going to put the sign down onto the wooden stake, leaving about 3 inches of wood at the top. So for hammering room, you're going to put down one of these metal discs onto the sign, and then you're going to drive a nail with a hammer right through the center of the disc. It'll go right through it. Bam, bam, bam. Take you 2 or 3 hits on it, and you're going to put 2 of these per sign. So one at the top, one at the bottom. Use a nail to drive it through, the roofing nails, and then you'll have a 48-inch stake with a sign, and you guys are going to get a lot of members. That's it on the signs. Get them out the morning of. Get up bright and early, 5 o'clock in the morning, and if you're going to have the busiest day of your life until you're going to do it on a Saturday, and you're going to get done at midnight, and you're going to want to sleep all day Sunday, and it's going to be wonderful because you'll have had a great day. We put in about $10,000 each time we did this into each club. So it's very worthwhile. Next time I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get about 50 referrals from your members in 1 hour within your club. I think you're going to love doing it. It's a great little trick that I came up on the fly with one day, and our employees did it. We had a lot of fun with it. So come in to check out the Club Management Series Volume 6. My name is Kyle Zagrodzky. This is Volume 5 Club Management Series of Go Figure, and we're really glad you guys could join us today. We always want to hear back from you and your comments and feedback. Please go to our website and click on Contact Us. There's a Tell It to the CEO link there. You click on it, and I do read those emails. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Denko